Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. A preliminary study on relevance of outcomes-based education in engineering, a student-centric approach. The contents of this presentation are introduction, objectives of the work, methodology, results and discussion, conclusion, references, and questions. Basically, this was focused towards the thinking of students where they are made to become aware about what actually is OBE and how does it help them. So there are so many things associated. As restructuring of curriculum, centric and not lecture based, traditional and transformational goals of the student as well as of the organization, all of these aspects. Now the objectives of this study were to evaluate existing curriculum in India where majority of the autonomous, not autonomous university where students are interviewed, a survey based study. So next is to conduct a survey among engineering student population to analyze the awareness and implementation of this outcome based education directly or indirectly, to compile and facilitate utilization of the evaluated data and draw inferences out of the study. The methodology involved studying, or prior to this, a mock survey was done to check what is the awareness of outcome based education, or rather at least are students aware about education across colleges. After that, we got further inputs to proceed ahead with the work, where sample collection and sample selection was the first activity. Then appropriate questionnaire design for the student audience, keeping in mind all the factors right from the time, what kind of data needs to be collected. Once it was prepared, we went ahead with the carrying out of the survey, and the sample size that was taken was around 610 engineering students across India, from various colleges from Bangalore and various other parts of the country. Students participated, including the IITs. The survey was done during this time of 15th to 25th of September 2015. Apart from manual or the hand-filled survey, there are few other methods by which this survey was done. One is through Google Forms, face-to-face, one-to-one interaction, and survey phase. What we found out from the study was awareness of the ongoing research and current industry trend in respect of the engineering domain. The students say that they are somewhat aware of what is the research ongoing in the industry and also with respect to engineering domain. Around 32% of the 610 students say they are slightly aware, 14% say they are unaware, and 6% say they are completely aware. This again comes through their association with the student chapters, their awareness, their association with various student clubs, activities, and their interest in knowing about things. And also utilization of facilities provided for research and interdisciplinary projects. A question was asked to check in what way they have utilized and their awareness on these areas. Around maybe it's for their final year project, interdisciplinary project, where although there are no barricades or barriers for this, many people do not venture into it, although their project most of it will be interdisciplinary in nature. They somehow miss that connecting link between departments. Around 34% says rarely they utilize the facilities. Around 8% say they have never used any such facilities for either research or creating an enterprise or interdisciplinary projects. Correlation and application of engineering skill sets in day-to-day life. How do they correlate what they learn in the class? Probably if you take an example of an automobile, parts associated. Maybe when you go to a garage, you are not able to identify what part is what. You are unable to identify. Service in charge says something, either it's the same part that he is talking about. So to start with such a very simple example, it extends to many other areas where we deal with in a day-to-day basis. So that correlation and application of engineering skills as to how do you apply your problem solving skills in your day-to-day life. Sometimes it may be simple, sometimes it may be complex, but at least you can put your mind on, you can open your think tank and say, this is what I have learned, let me apply. So that was also put up as a question. Around 50% of the sample size says sometimes they apply. Around 35% they rarely apply. 10% says they always try to apply. But here one more thing is, it is not intended to check whether they are successful or not. Whether they apply or not is greater. Because application should start only then you'll be. It's approach that matters. Once you use this approach of engineering skills that you have got, then task. And the buffer time period a participant prefers to spend for activities related to courses apart from regular studies. How much time are they likely to spend for some activities which are related to their curriculum, like browsing in the internet? Or it can be over a discussion, let's say Indian Institute of Science or Indian Institute of Technology or various other premier institutes, referring through journals or e-journals. How much time do they spend to know what is happening? Around 48% of the participants say around 29% say they spend less than 1 hour. 3 to 6 hours, 7%, around 16% of the people say, and around 7% people say they spend more than 6 hours per week. And when a question of generic sense was in engineering education, 90% of 10% said it was moderately important. And what is the significance of student involvement in framing syllabi? Although they may not be completely aware about what they need to learn because they are unaware about the industry working and what is the need of the hour, but somehow they feel that they should be a part of the syllabi so that they can also share their viewpoints. So they said 50% of them say extremely significant, 50% say moderately significant. And a question was also included which asked novel effective teaching methods analogous to classroom interactions. So what should be the various methods by which a course instructor or a faculty should ask such that the classroom is an interactive session and people get involved rather than somebody forcing or for the sake of attendance or so, which is the case as in majority of the colleges where many student fraternity attend the classes for the sake of attendance. So what are the various ways in which you can make them to sit in the classroom and appreciate what is going on, and also a lot of ideas can be shared there, a lot of good projects can come out of such discussions, and that's what is required out of such engineering degree. Around 29% say the workshops should be arranged such that people will get involved in understanding the subjects at a greater depth or level. And around 29% say guest lectures, that is eminent personalities are invited across from industries and various research and development organizations and also from various colleges and they come and share their expertise, their hands-on experiences of working with the project. They might have handled some research projects, and that would be taken well by the student fraternity. And around 12% of the students say through online courses. Now, in today's scenario, there are so many online courses available. People also call them as MOOCs, that is massive open online courses, where a student can register. Whether if he is interested in obtaining a certificate, he can go ahead, submit the assignments, and get the certificate. Even otherwise, he will at least get the study material. He can understand how the subject is taught, understood worldwide, so that he is relevant across the globe. And around 7% of the students feel they need to have some student chapters. Now here in our college, we do have the materials chapter, we have the fluid power chapter, and as well as the Indian Society for Technical Education. So through that, we can also organize some lectures where students get involved and they can interact with the industry experts who come through that chapter, because they will also be members. So such association also such work, and probably some projects also they can think about their final year projects. And only around 2% said there are some others where they might be events, so on and so forth. A question was asked as in whether alternate assessment tools are best suited to have the 3 hour 100 marks examination, or should there be some other pattern by which a student has to be assessed. Around 40% of the students say some present learned by which they has to be assessed, and the next major contributing thing is around 29%, that is project based learning, where you implement what you have learned, and that goes to an extent of 29%. And the next one is open book exams, as in some of the universities they conduct. You need to conduct open book exams is what the students had to say. And around 14% say you need to conduct surveys, study based surveys on the topic. You learn a topic, you have to conduct a survey, find out, go for a factual finding. Said they need to be a separate kind of exam, but have one kind of examination for all the students. And with respect to the feedback, the laboratory experiments to be carried out as per conventional methods or industry standards. Should the laboratory experiments be put in the syllabi as in the traditional way, or should you consider the industry needs as to how they utilize such equipments in the industry arena? So around more than 300 say always you need to have such experiments. Sometimes you need to conduct it the conventional way as well as the industrial standard way. That is, you need to have amalgamation of both. You need to uh, teach first in the conventional way, and then also discuss about how exactly such set of equipments will be used in a industrial setup. To conclude, what students response we have obtained is students' inputs are vital to decide on how best outcome-based education can be incorporated in the existing curriculum. First of all, they need to be completely aware about what actually is OBE, how does it help them, and what are all the parameters involved in this process. Second thing, there is a strong necessity to bring about the changes in the teaching learning process TLP trend by adopting several effective alternate assessment tools. One point which is clear is there is a lot of time demand for doing such activities. In many places, people find it, or rather the faculty or course instructors find it challenging to match the time that is required. Just with the traditional teaching and the PowerPoint presentation itself, people find it a lot of difficult to time frame, considering all the various other occasions by which instructors lose the classes. So it becomes really difficult situation to look into various other tools to manage the time. You need to have such infrastructural facilities. Students should be motivated towards to participate in such events and few of the pros and cons. And the next aspect of industry institution interaction. Although there is institute interaction from a long time, but not many people completely involve themselves because the exposure is so much. They cannot involve themselves in completely into any of the aspect, and hence there will still be some or the other link missing between industry and institute. Because if at all an institute has to have an industry type of environment, we really have to gear up with the standards of the industry where we always keep growing. And the time is one thing which clearly separates industry and institute, because the time management skills is what we also have to learn from the industry. And how is the application part? We learn some aspects here in the college, in the curriculum we teach, and how is it implemented in an industry, and how are the soft skills playing an important role. All that factors still have to go a long way in college across. And final point is, not only helps in imparting better quality education but also better quality graduates, because right at the beginning of the course they would be knowing about what is that this subject offers me, and what am I going to learn in each of the chapter, and what will I be able to do after learning this. So in that way it gives them a clear indication of what is that they will learn, and what will they be able to do after learning this course. Hence this outcome based education, which is a new concept as far as a lot of other private colleges are concerned, we we strongly recommend each one to go through this and make students aware about what course they are learning, what all will they be able to do after learning the course, how they can utilize them in the form of the course outcomes and program outcomes. So this was based on a survey based study. Thank you so much. Any questions, please? What probably is being done here is that are relevant to the courses that they study, and also upgradations or ongoing trends in that particular subject, which leads them to understand and appreciate that the subject is being utilized in the industry. They are a part of it. We also arrange demonstrations of various upcoming technologies in association with a lot of they become aware of the recent developments with respect to. They also feel that they are connected to the industry, and hence there'll be more association for such activities.